Greetings, everybody. Can you hear me now? I think I had it on mute. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, I had it on mute. My bad. La Morena del Fuego. ¿Qué pasa? Demetrius, what's good? Joshua, what's good? Zeta, yeah, you were the first one. You even beat me here today. Ampu Bina, greetings, brother. What? Hot. That's what it is. It was hot here today. I'm sweating already. Let me turn up this fan real quick. Yes. Friday. Beautiful weekend ahead. Well, we're waiting for a few more people and then I'll make a couple announcements. Jeez, that light blinded me. Excellent. Here it was up to Demetrius. Got up to what, 80, 81 here today. So yeah, the lovely spring weather right now. Be Amos. Chilling. Or was it up there in Jacksonville? In Duval County. Duval. 73. All right, not bad in ATL. Can't beat the 81 here today, though. 305 Capricorn. What's good? I know Miami was warm. We were 30 in New York, huh? Not missing it. That's why I only visit New York in the summer. Only in the summer. All right, we're waiting for a few more people, and then I'll start some announcements. Oh, you in New York now? Oh, jeez. That's just terrible. So you visiting up there? Yeah. Well, as soon as you get back to Florida, you'll be warming up. Ain't nobody gonna attack your name. Yeah, upstate is even colder than the city. Chantel, how are you? Good old Chantel. All right. So let me start with the announcements. Sunday, Jaja Minx. Hola. Oh, so now I get to see a little icon of Jaja Minx. When the other night we were on video, she had her iPad facing who knows what, the heavens or something. Anyway, this is another story. But let me do a couple announcements. I'm good, brother. On Sunday, it was supposed to be myself, Brother Rogue Titan, and the sister Cosmic Serpent. But unfortunately, Cosmic Serpent had a personal matter to attend to. So she won't be with us on Sunday. She'll be actually participating in the Triad of Darkness when we do the threefold teaching next week. So keep that in mind. She won't be here this Sunday. It's just my brother, Rogue Titan, and myself will be speaking about the deific mask on Zoom. If you don't have access to Zoom, you can download it on your phone through an app, or you can go online and do it. You can seek an invite. The invite's through darkoccultist99 at outlook.com. Just email me. I'll send you an invite. Add you to the email list. Zoom is better because we actually get more personal interaction, get to see each other, get to actually hear each other, and you could actually ask live questions instead of just typing in the chat room. So that's why we've been utilizing and accessing Zoom. I was going to use Google Hangouts, but I don't like it that much. I like Zoom better. The way its feed is better. And the way it works is a lot easier. So Sunday, we'll be on Zoom, 7 p.m. Again, we'll be dealing with the deific mask, how to use the deific mask in your rituals, the purpose of the deific mask, etc., etc., etc. The brother Rogue Titan and myself. On Thursday, for all those who've been attending the private classes, on Thursday, we will be discussing vampirism. But those are private classes, so we go a little more in depth. And it's the segue to opening up the Temple of the Abyss, a temple order for those who know what it is. So if you're interested in that, send me an email as well, darkoccultist99 at outlook.com. The Temple of the Abyss is that order that deals with vampiric, Luciferian, black magic, chaos magic, sex magic, but it's done within the confines of vows and secrecy, so we can get a little more in depth there. Then Friday, I'll be doing another live class here on YouTube. Don't know what the topic is. Oh yeah, actually I do know what the topic is. It's actually coming. It's going to be dealing with the concept of the devil and the misconcepts that have been created around that, etc., etc., etc. So that's next Friday. And then, like I said, next Sunday, it'll be the Triad of Darkness, Cosmic Serpent, Rogue Titan, and myself. So that's next week coming up. This evening, the discussion is the road to self-empowerment as a Luciferian, left-hand path, etc., etc. Again, we're utilizing this book, and I've been using this for a while now because this is one of the better books that deals with Luciferianism, but it's coming from a Gnostic perspective. So it vibes with me in a lot of different levels and ways. So this is Luciferianism Alter Ego by Richard K. Page. So we'll be coming from that this evening. If you don't have his books, get it. Get it, get it, get it. His books are very in-depth. And there's actually a ritual at the end of this book that I may go over this evening. It's a, for lack of a better term, a self-initiation, baptismal Luciferian ritual to bring in the Luciferian current. Okay? So if I have time, I'll go over that towards the end. Tanisha, I believe there's a couple people. I don't know if I see him here. There is a couple people that live in Miami, Tanisha, but they haven't showed up yet. They may show up. But when they do, I'll alert you so that you can make contact. Well, that's what the book, Just I 3, that's what the book, the Luciferianism Alter Ego goes into. He also has another book, which is Ego Sum, dealing with Luciferianism as well. So it goes in depthly into that. And I may do a class on that eventually as well. So let's get it on and popping for sake of time. I know it's Friday. Y'all want to get your party on. You want to shake that ass. Want to get some drinks on. So I ain't going to keep y'all too long. So before we do this, let's do this. Your body, okay, self-empowerment. Your body is physically all that is the matter. Your mind is all that matters. Let me say that again because there is a slick way that this was put, and I like it. Your body is physically all that is the matter. Your mind is all that matters. Again, this goes back to the old Hermetic or principle of Tahuti. All is mind, mind is all. Everything begins and ends with your mind. Everything you accept to be true begins and ends with your mind. Everything you conceive or allow yourself to accept begins in your mind. So there is a difference between your body is physically all that is the matter and your mind is all that matters. When you look and you come forth and you look at anything in existence, it's because your perception or what you're perceiving, your mind is accepting as being there, is how it comes into reality. Quantum physics has proven that right now, you guys are looking at me. There is about 1,000 me's vibrating in different multiverses at the same time, or different dimensions at the same time. Your focus or your perception is what allows you to see one single individual me. This is how the mind works. So this goes for anything. You could be looking at the computer and there's vibrations of this computer that has multiple vibrations of a computer, but you're honing in or zoning in on one computer due to your perception, and that's what you focus on, and it materializes to be true for you. This is important. You are the observer of all things. You are the observer of all things, the evaluator, the judge, and the creator of all that is reality. Now, keep this in mind. This goes back to one of the first principles of Luciferianism that we've spoken about before. You are God. You are the only God that is. If you accept other things such as gods, goddesses, whatever path you came from or still accept or work with, that's because you accept that to be true. That doesn't necessarily mean it is true. It's because of your subjective universe, how you are in your subjective universe, which actually creates your physical environment that you're existing in, is why it is true to you. But to try to convince other people that is true is what has become known as religion, passing off things as if they're true, creating a faith around them, and you either accept it or you don't. Sometimes you get dissed if you don't accept it, and sometimes the case, whatever the case may be. There is no other reality but yours. What you say exists, exists. What you say does not, does not. You were divinely created by life's first ritual as old as time, the first ever offering to nature, worshiping the duality of nature. It began with the two opposing subsets of a species that forms your eternal historic species, energy that was united in a very divine way. This mere coincidence was ordained in a universe that recognizes no law of time. This infinite void of change was merely echoing the cosmic resonance of a foretold event that chaos could only predict. The world and an infinite number that brings about your place. With the possibility of an infinite universe, a number of cosmoses, planets, and countries, two people join together, exciting the vibrations that are at the nature and word of all creation. Meaning, out of all the vibrations, frequencies, out of all the events in life, our parents met. For whatever reason, they met to conceive you, which is in itself a divine time or divine timing or divine creation, because it is the birth of you. And they, if they're together or if they're not, okay, if they're together or if they're not, the point is that you are the divine existence and creation of what they formulated in their conception. The friction of matter against matter stands on one side of this incredible stellar event. Where matter merges or is divided, the supernature creates energy. And where this energy is combined or divided, matter is created. This is the law of the divine, the universe that is our body, and it's all things being united. It is simple in all its complexity. It is simple in all its complexity. The physics of the universe is only made complex by men who seek to stand above others, and we have no time for them. Laugh at all you have been taught, for it is lies. History is lies. Religion is lies, and hierarchy, nobility, and unnatural laws of man are all lies. Lies, lies, lies. They're all lies. Only you are truth to yourself. Now, this is what we kind of been discussing for the last few classes. Truth is based upon you. Truth is what you consider to be true. Truth is not what is commonly accepted by the collective consciousness. Truth is not what's accepted by a community. Truth is not what's accepted by a culture, a nationality, a race, a tradition, etc., etc., etc. Truth is always subjective. Truth is always based upon you and you alone. And as long as you keep remembering this, the focal point will always be inward instead of outward. The importance of that is when you focus inward, you get the job done of mastering yourself. But if we're worried about this history, that story, that belief, etc., 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 then our focal point is always external, distracting us from the real opus magnum, or the great work, the true work, which is the focal point going inward to master yourself, to go into the shadow and master yourself. On Thursday, we went a little further into shadow work and how it is important walking the left-hand path, how it is important as a Luciferian, how it is important to deal with your trauma, your childhood trauma, your teenage traumas, how it is important to deal with your issues, your beliefs that have stagnated you, or your beliefs that have basically harmed you, okay? It's important to understand this. It's important to really get to the focal point of you are the God. You are the one that creates your universe. You either accept what people are telling you is true or you don't, based upon your, number one, your experience. If your experience correlates to someone else, you may accept what they're telling you as true. That doesn't mean you have to accept it. Okay? So keep that in mind as you go forward in your work. What Luciferianism truly is? What is it? Do not think that Luciferian laws are secret. They are not. But they are sealed and open only to those worthy of understanding, and we are a few. We are those who love wisdom, not knowledge. We love wisdom. It's a difference. Wisdom is the application of knowledge that leads to the experiences that creates greater results and greater outcomes. And that wisdom is what you pass on to people. Knowledge is not always suffice. Knowledge is just a bunch of information, but it's just that. If you don't take that knowledge and apply it to your personal life, how do you know if it really works or not? How do you know? So you should take knowledge with a grain of salt and then test it, because you are the great scientist of your life. You're the one that runs your life. So as that great scientist, you should be creating experiments every day with your life. Don't wait for experiences to happen to you, because then when you're waiting for things to happen to you, you're back into the religious belief. Waiting is a religious belief. You wait for God to do it. Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah. You wait for all these external things to do it for you. A true God or a true Luciferian or a master, a person trying to master themselves, goes out and creates their experiences immediately. Whatever your experiences that you've been trying to partake in, why are you waiting? Why are you delaying? Why are you holding back? Because if you're waiting, then what are you exactly waiting for? Ask yourself that question. You should be, as the experiment, the scientist who's creating the experiment, using the independent and dependent variables to manipulate. You use that independent variable, manipulate that to get the desired result, or what your hypothesis is, what you expect to happen from this experiment. You should be doing that for your personal life to see what is actually real or not according to your own personal existence. All right. There are divine words that man can only speak to him or herself, for they are without form. These words are still in inspirational form and echoed from the true self, higher self, or the God that is within yourself. Your words carry weight. Your words carry weight. And when you speak, realize the power of your words. You create or destroy things by the very essence and usage of your words. Words are like nuclear bombs. And I'll say it just like that. They're like nuclear bombs. If you, let's say, do hikaus, mantras, chants, dhikrs, etc., 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 you are actually creating through the vibration, the tone, the rhythm, and frequency of those words. And when you do that, it's like little bombs going off that are creating friction. And you have friction that's creating and rubbing and creating little sparks of matter going out. And you're taking antimatter thought, bringing it into matter, physical form. The power of your words is more deadly than you could imagine. So one day you could be mad at your significant other and say, I hope you die. Trust me, I know some of y'all have said it. Don't front. In the midst of that anger and emotion, the energy and vibration frequency behind it can actually make that person very sick. So think about it. Have you done this before? I'm sure some of you have done it before, and it kind of shocked you, like, whoa, I did that. Yeah, you did it, because words have power. This is why the formulation of mantras and hikaus and chants and dhikrs and things of that nature was utilized in many various cultures and spiritual orders and secret societies. It was utilized because the power of words are significant. So if you understand the power of your words, how your words are very significant, the usage of those words, you will be more cognizant of how you use those words and how you say them, especially when you're speaking to someone else. Okay? Chaotic Scout, what's good, brother? I ain't seen you in a minute. All right. Choose for only you can the origin of your inspiration. Again, choose for only you can the origin of your inspiration. What inspires you? Only you could choose what inspires you. What inspires me may not inspire y'all. What inspires some of y'all, hold on. This computer wants to update, so I had to stop it. All right. So only you have that power to choose what's going to inspire you, and it's different for everybody. The choices are somewhat limited. Firstly, it can be only you speaking as your God inspiritus or inspiritus, meaning you're the God. You're the one that's speaking things into existence. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was in the beginning. Yeah, sounds familiar? In the beginning, right? God said, let there be a word. Everything comes from existence or the beginning of a word. In Arabic, they say kun fayakun. Yeah, okay. The choice, I repeat, is yours as master of the single God that is you. Or if you choose, if you still believe in external things, then to the master of what you consider to be the master of all the universe, He-Man. Anyways, choose also to reject man's laws or embrace them. Again, the choice is yours. You can accept what man tells you, especially these laws, man-made created laws, or you can denounce them. But be wise. Again, you're the wise scientist. Just because you may denounce the laws or denounce what you feel are the laws, be careful and don't do anything illegal to break those laws. Because there's another man that's waiting for you if you do that. So let's pay attention to that reality. If you throw away the wisdom within this book, then you are as much a Luciferian as am I. Meaning, you don't have to accept anything we're sharing with you all this evening from myself, Ravana New. You don't have to share anything, accept anything that Rogue Titan is sharing with you. You don't have to accept anything that the Cosmic Serpent is sharing with you. You don't have to accept anything that any other teachers on YouTube are sharing with you. Again, that is your choice. And that makes you just as much as a Luciferian as anyone else. But also, alternately, if you do embrace and accept this wisdom and truth that may be shared, then you are as much a Luciferian as I am, or as I. Recognizing your power will make the few lines above sensible. If they are nonsense, then reread, but realize you master your reality, not what anybody else says. You are the master of your reality. Okay? So keep that in mind. You master your world. And everything begins with you. You are the black dot. That black dot that created the line. That then from the line created the wall. From the wall created the square or the cube. Okay? The cube, 360 degrees, not the square, which is limited because of its dimensional depth. The cube. Then again, that black dot split and created the circle. The circle and the square come together. Anyways, that's another thing. Oh yeah, that's the new flag I put up there. That's up there because of the direction the channel's going. Dark Side Unleashed. We're going deep into a lot of shadow work. We're going deep into a lot of black magic. We're going deep into Luciferian aspects. We're going deep into vampiric, and we're going deep into Sith. We're going knee deep into this stuff. So I changed the background for that. All right. Okay, I will tell you only that which I believe is true wisdom, and for me that is my divine reality. If it helps you to find your truth, then I am pleased. Likewise, if rejection helps you find your truth, then I am equally pleased. A Luciferian, according to one's own views, is contrary to Luciferianism, and is simply the sheepdog leading the sheep, whereas a shepherd merely watches over the flock. Luciferianism, for me, is not a religion. It is a philosophy. If you wish to incorporate magic or religion into that, then this is your choice. But religion unified in purpose. Subjective reality is all. This is a key point right here, y'all, because this is juicy right here. Subjective reality is all. The fact that more people experience any one version of reality does not make it any more valid than a solitary person who has seen the truth. Let me repeat that again. Subjective reality is all. The fact that more people experience any one version of reality does not make it any more valid than a solitary person who has seen the truth. Now, we're going to get into magic, Luciferianism and magic. Magic, if you now wish to engage in this craft, is simply a ritual for manifesting the positive aspects of the law of attraction. If magic helps you to visualize this version of reality and it works for you, then it will imbue you with strength to your purpose. It will subjugate the doubts of your mortal consciousness. Use magic, but know this: it has no more power than a spell or a prayer without absolute conviction. Magic has no more power than a prayer or a regular spell unless you have total conviction. Total conviction behind what you're doing the ritual for in magic or the spell for in magic. So if you just doing it and say, oh, let me just check it out. Let me just see if this works. Yeah. No. If you're completely your intention is powerful, your passion and desire is powerful behind what you're really trying to manifest, then you'll understand the power of magic. It's not just manifesting mundane things. What do I mean by mundane thing? I'm talking about physical things, money, cars, houses, all things you should have, because the society you live in, you should have these things and not just barely have them. Luciferians don't just barely want to have something. We want to be abundant in it. We want to be able to experience life in totality. In order to do that, you should have a nice wealth. In order to travel and experience the world, you should have a nice high level of wealth. I'm not telling you to be super billionaire rich. If it happens and you got that focus, make it happen. But you should not be barely above poverty level and then trying to get on a higher level if you haven't covered your basics. Your basics should teach you, from the root chakra, should teach you how to survive and bring abundance and wealth into your experience of life. Again, making your reality takes constructive effort, which manifests itself in many forms, but always begins as a child of your mind. Again, making your reality takes constructive effort, which manifests itself in many forms, but always begins as a child of your mind. Everything begins from your mind, from the innocence of your mind to the perversions of your mind. Everything begins there, and you are creating this reality. You are constructing this reality every day. Also, it is born of spirit, as we are. It requires nurture and guidance once born. You must teach it morals and help it cope with the material world. Use materialism together with the supernatural and you will master your universe. That last line is the daily deal. Use materialism together with the supernatural and you will master your universe. Far too long, people get spiritual and forget about the material. They go straight Spookville and then wonder why their physical is suffering. I've seen people get super spiritual and then their health starts to suffer. I've seen people get super spiritual and they can't pay their bills. You have to be able to still master this material world that you're in. And as a magician, as a sorcerer, as an alchemist, as a master of your own life, you should be able to master and manipulate this material world you exist in and use it together with the supernatural, and you will become like He-Man, the master of your own universe. Or you will become like the Emperor, Sidious, Darth Sidious. You'll become like the Emperor who runs the galaxy. You can do it. Abracadabra. I create what I speak. I realize what I see. And I am that I am. Abracadabra. I create what I speak. I realize what I see. I am that I am. The worlds you observe are each unique and bespoke to your exclusive ensemble of accumulated faculties. By this subjective notion, you can only be the absolute center of it. You are the absolute center of what you observe. The dot, the black dot. I keep using that because its meaning is more than just obvious. Its meaning means the black dot, that which emanates from the black flame, that which emanates from the creation or the creative aspect of yourself and gives life to everything else. When you realize you are the center of your universe, existing in multiverses at the same time, then you realize that everything revolves around you. Everything revolves around you. You don't revolve around everything. You are the sun. You are Ra. Okay, you are Shamesh. You are what is seen as the focal point in the daytime sky. Everything reflects from you and begins and ends with you. When you realize that you are the center, then you realize nothing is going to happen in your life unless you get out there and do it. Until you shift the consciousness within your mind and break the old patterns and programming that you've been put under. Until that happens, then the universe is going to keep affecting you, and you're going to keep thinking the universe is doing all this for you, when in reality, in the big grand scheme of things, you are really insignificant to the universe. You are just one little cog or one little nut or one little bolt in the universe. But when you realize you are the center of the universe, then you realize that all things matter and care about you. There's a big difference, but you got to catch what is being said. The center of the earth, the center of the solar system, the center of the universe, the center of a cell, the world will tell you a billion centers as being interesting and pertinent facts. However, the one that is avoided or simply negative or simply made or implied as negatively is the center of self. Let me say this again. Jack, peace, peace. Or I should say, peace is a lie. There's only passion. Anyways, greetings, brother. The center of the earth, the center of the solar system, the center of the universe, the center of a cell. The world will tell you a billion centers as being interesting and pertinent facts. This is what they'll tell you. They'll make you look at the stars in the heavens. They'll make you look at everything outside of yourself. These movie stars, these rappers, these singers. And they'll make it seem like it's all interesting and all of it is just factual. But they don't tell you about what is most important. And when they do tell you, they kind of put a negative stamp or a negative connotation to it. That is the center that really matters the most is yourself. Ego awakening is realizing the importance of the notion that only your thought at this moment is the true center of the universe, and at this moment or any time you are at is the pure center of eternal time. Next time somebody tells you that ego is your it should be annihilated, tell them to suck a fat one. Let me tell you why. I'm going to say it again. Ego awakening is realizing the importance of the notion that only your thought at this moment is the true center of the universe. Whatever y'all thinking at this moment is what's the center of your personal universe. Not who the next man or woman, what they're thinking about or focusing on. You are at the center of your universe when you focus on your thought alone. Stop worrying about the next man or woman and what they're doing or what they're thinking. And at this moment or at any time you are at is the pure center of eternal time. You are the centerpiece of all that exists. Now, what makes this difficult is all the programming and conditioning we've been put under, that everything outside of yourself is more important than yourself. And there's a lot of different systems that teach this. Okay, the government will tell you that it's about the nation. It's nation time, and everything is about the country of the United States of America. Kind of a distraction, because whether you're in the United States of America or the island of Jamaica, you gotta survive and you gotta exist. So the government will distract you, make you think that everything that's the most important is your nation. Okay. Or the next sensational singer, and they blast them all over the media and social media, and oh, pay attention to this person. Again, distracting you from yourself. Oh, another mass murder, or et cetera, et cetera. Listen, yes, we all have emotions. It's kind of disgusting to see the killing sprees and all kinds of things happening lately across this planet. But again, that takes you away from your focal point, your center. You are the center of your universe. You should be always taking Mr. Charles. I am reading from, as y'all know, Luciferianism Alter Ego by Richard K. Page. Actually, the last 4 classes I've been coming from this book, which is interesting. The connection. Okay. Of course, there exists my center of the universe too, and that is where the subjectivity comes in. See, we all have different universes. Gypsy Goddess has her universe. My brother Jack Charles has his universe. The Stubby Show has his universe. Tanisha Palmer has her universe. Oh, by the way, Tanisha Palmer, Gypsy Goddess is in the South Florida area, and the brother Jack Charles there that you see, Jay Charles, is in the South Florida area. So you were asking, is there any people in Miami? There you go. There's a couple people right there, Gypsy Goddess and Jay Charles. Y'all, Jay Charles and Gypsy Goddess, she's been trying to connect with people in Miami. So reach out to the sister and let her know what's happening down there. All right. So, and if you ever come up to Central Florida, Tanisha, I'm in Orlando. If you ever slide through here, right? So if you ever want to connect and we can build and stuff, that's all good. All right. So here it is, Mr. Charles, my good brother, Mr. Charles, put his email address there, Tanisha. Look in the chat right there. It's at the bottom. All right, let me get back to this. Yeah. Okay, of course, there exists my center of the universe too, and that is where subjectivity comes in. See, we all have different universes. All right, you slide up here, Tanisha, but also slide over there to the people close to you. We have different universes. Knowledge of the self is also an understanding of the subjectivity of the self. And it becomes essential to asserting our will when we objectively distance ourselves from subjectivity for the purpose of objective wisdom. My universe is made up of that which I observe. Everything you look at is from the center of your universe. You're accepting it as being true, as we said earlier. That which I am told and that which I conceive. All else is irrelevant unless I ordain its relevance. Again, what we said earlier. Nothing exists unless you let it. No one exists unless you let them. Okay, this is why you could have been in 7th grade class, and 10 years later, somebody comes up to you, hey, you remember me? I was in your math class. Hell no, I don't remember you. Why? Because you might have been operating from the center of your universe and allowing yourself to either accept this as being in existence and something you want to connect with, or not connect with. So then some people could sit there all through your high school years and you never paid attention to them because you didn't allow that concept or conceive of that object to be real to you. It happens quite often. We see people arguing every day. What is wrong and what is right? And that is because both are wrong and both are right. This is what's really almost funny in a sense. This when I read this part here, listen, man. Only thing I can think about is these debating fools in the conscious community. They all want to be right or wrong. There is no right or wrong, y'all. We keep saying this over and over and over. There is what is right or wrong to you. Period. You can tell me historical facts. You can tell me all these scientific facts. If I don't choose to accept them, then that is my right as the God I am. And it is your right as the God or goddesses you are to accept things as being true or not. And they can get mad, hoot and holler, call you names, all kinds of stuff. Ain't nothing gonna change that unless you allow yourself to accept that what they're saying is true. So when people argue, you're right, you're wrong, laugh at it. Feed off of that emotional energy that they're inputting into the dialogue of a debate that really has no bearing or significance on your existence. Feed off of that energy. When I watch some of these YouTube debates and videos, I just feed off of the energy people are giving off. I love it. Feed it. Give it to us. Y'all high strung, emotional, vibrating all this passion and frequencies out into the universe. I'm just devouring it as a vampire. I'm just taking it in like, yeah, that's right, y'all. Take it. Argue. Keep fighting. Keep fighting, y'all. Take it in. You know, the other day, I'm walking through downtown here, Orlando. I come around the corner. This at night, by the way. I come around the corner and I hear, "You are the devil. You." You know how y'all Hebrew Israelites. I said that because as soon as I was about to say that, I see Rogue Titan put that in there. You are the devil, according to the book of Isaiah. You see, them Hebrews make me laugh because they're arguing and fighting, calling you all kinds of names. I'm just sitting back like, okay, watch this emotional exchange going on and just feed off of that energy. Let them argue. Let them do what they do. Just feed off of it. Thank you. I got charged up. I keep them moving. By the way, the Hebrew Israelites here in Orlando, they're the most bankrupt looking Hebrew Israelites I've ever seen. I mean, damn, son. You know, sometimes the Hebrew Israelites, they got the flashy gear looking like Isley Brothers. They got it going on sometimes. You know, got the silk threads and everything. These guys look like they got some stuff from Walmart. Anyways, that's another story. Yeah. All right. It is the observer's divine right to perceive the world or indeed the multiverses, whichever way they choose. Therefore, they are the God of that universe. You are the God of your own universe. I keep saying that over and over till it really clicks in our heads. We are the God of our own universe. And I like the diagram that the author put in here with this circle with the different vibrations and frequencies. And then there's that dot in the middle. That's you. And that's the world, the universe, the multiverse is all vibrating, moving, the chaotic energies, frequencies all around you. You could either let these things devour you and affect you, or you can be the one that devours and absorbs all of this. Is your universe and your reality enriched by the chaos of our solar-centric knowledge? Let me ask that again. Is your universe and your reality enriched by the chaos of our solar-centric knowledge? Natural beauty and a greater order reveal itself from your own self-center. After all, you can accept, and I do not deny the science of a solar orbit-based system, but then our sun orbits our galaxy, and so we distance ourselves more from a truly rational perspective. This extends further to what does our galaxy orbit? If it does orbit and yet further our universe and its interaction with other universes, The chaos that ensues externalizing our centers is simply a distraction from true universal awareness and your own significance in it. These are the people who want to tell you about the speed of light travels at 186,282 miles per second. These are the people that want to tell you that as if you're going to just stop and say, whoa, shit, you just changed my life by that scientific fact, brother or sister. I am going to just now go into another level of existence because you told me how fast the speed of light moves. Really? These are the people that want to, and some brothers are good at this. They'll be with their significant other or girl, they girl they trying to put under their hypnosis, their spell, right? And damn, Nikki, see me slide. What's good? Greetings. Anyways, so they're good at this. They'll be with their significant other. Dudes do this now. And they want to interpret everything the girl sees for her. As if she can't determine or observe or decipher things for herself. They want to say, baby, you know what that really means in the Avengers Endgame? You know what this really meant in Captain Marvel? See, this is what it really meant. And you're sitting here as a woman looking at this dude like, all right, this fool is about to go into egotistical, super highly fragilistic mode, right? And you got to deal with this nonsense and say, here we go. Listen, your ego is your best friend, but your ego can be your worst enemy. And what I mean by that is your ego becomes fragile. Your ego becomes fractured. It becomes fragmented, is because it starts to break apart from reality, okay? And it starts to create alter realities because it cannot make sense of its own reality because it's externalized everything and divided everything into all these boxes and in cabinets and drawers, and it can't deal with reality anymore. So the only way they can grasp this existence is by trying to decipher everything for other people. Not good. You are the only one. And what matters, what's significant in this universe is your existence. Take your existence and be 100% invested in your existence. Be invested in your health. Are you eating a balanced diet, a good, healthy diet? Don't get extreme either. Don't come preaching to me veganism and all that. Did it 10 years, had the diploma, the bachelor's degree, and the doctorate degree of a vegan. Did it. Move along. There is no one diet for any one person. All I'm saying is eat a good, healthy, balanced diet. Don't gorge yourself on 100 pounds of red meat and then think that you're just going to be dandy 10 years later if you gorge on 100 pounds of red meat every day. It's not going to happen. You got to be realistic. If you're not eating veggies, if you're not eating your fruits enough, it's not going to happen. You got to be real. Okay? Exercise. I know some of us have wonderful bodies and figures naturally, but it ain't always going to be there. As we start to age, it starts to disappear. And you'll be 5 years later going like, where the hell did that extra ass cheek come from? Yeah, that's all them burgers you've been eating all the time. That's where that shit came from. All right. So, Straight Panther, it is this book right here, Luciferianism Alter Ego by Richard K. Page. All right. So where was I? Yeah. So focus on yourself as the center of the universe. Give time to yourself. Specifically, deal with your shadow self. Deal exclusively at times with all the wounds and traumas and pains and programming and conditioning you've gone through all your life. You feels me? Deal with it 100% from the center of you. You are the center of the universe and the multiverses. Go into yourself. Deal with the things you've put off forever. Okay? I'll give you an example of what I mean by the things we've put off forever. If you have a vicious cycle in life of a reactionary creature. What I mean by that is you react to things instead of being proactive to things. You wait for things to happen, then you react emotionally with anger and frustration and things of that nature. You are then becoming a servant to your own emotions, a slave to your own reactions and habitual programming. Focus on that. If you find yourself going off, just off rip, just going on a whole nother rageful level because somebody cut you off on the road, you might want to take a second and do some really deep down active internalization, introspection, dark shadow meditation. Because guess what? Especially for some of us who live here in Florida, that is gonna happen all the time. I lived in New York. I lived in Hartford, Connecticut. I done seen the worst drivers in my existence here in Florida. Okay? I came from a city where there's 8 million people and 20 million people in the metro area. And I tell you, I ain't never seen such bad drivers as I see here in Florida. And here's the trick though. It is, mind you, it is because here you have a conglomeration of tourists coming here. We have 72 million visitors that visited Orlando last year. Okay, more probably coming this year. And then you have people from the West Coast, Midwest, Northeast, all moving here, and we trying to mesh these different driving styles. I done seen people from the left lane because they're trying to get to Universal Studios, zoom across right in front of you, barely mishitting you just to get off the exit. It's retarded. But anyways, if you react to that and you're rageful when you already know it's going to happen. I'll give you another example of what I mean. What do dogs normally do in your yard, y'all? If you see a dog in your yard, 9 times out of 10, what is the dog going to do? The dog is either going to poop or piss in your yard, right? So if you react to your dog, not your dog, but a dog pooping or pissing in your yard, what are you really not realizing? You're not realizing that guess what? It's a dog. And 99.910% chance that dog is going to shit in your lawn. If you react to a dog pooping in your lawn and you're angry about it, what the hell does that say about us? Like, if you know a certain person's a certain way and they do things a certain way and you still react to the way they do it, the problem is not with them. The problem is with you because you're still reacting to something you already know they're going to do. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. Now, let's finish up. Your point of view is the only thing that matters. And so this puts certain responsibility on you as a judge of your divine universe to ensure that what happens and exists within that universe is just and correct. Okay? You are the judge of your universe. You are the one that judges things in your existence in your universe. You. No one else can judge it for you. You judge it. So when people tell you this is the religious programming, and even people that are so deep in the occult and left-hand path will still sometimes say, only God can judge me, or they'll flip it and say, only Satan can judge me, only Lucifer, listen, only this demon can judge me. You're a damn fool still. Let me explain to you why. We just said you're the God of your own universe. You're the center of your universe. Nothing can judge you but you. Meaning, you also, as the judge of your own universe, judge things outside of you, your external or objective world, as to what is good or what is not good for your existence, as to what is just or not just for your existence. And guess what? When people say you ain't God, you can't judge me. Yes, I am God. I judge you and everybody else. And if they don't like it, keep it moving because you're still under religious conditioning. How else are you going to survive in this world unless you judge things accordingly? If you don't judge things accordingly, you will not know what's beneficial for you or not because you're just going to be sitting there saying, I shouldn't judge nothing. Let me close my eyes, close my ears, and close my mouth because I'm not supposed to judge. See, that's a religious programming that we have to break because you are the God of your universe. As the God, and they say only God can judge me, I'm God. And if you're God and you're God, then guess what? Yes, yes, and yes. We can judge. You may not like it, but we can judge. All right. So let me see. I might hold off, y'all. I might hold off on doing I might hold off on actually going over the baptism ceremony he has here, which is kind of like a ritual ceremony coming from a Kabbalah perspective. It's a real dope ritual, but I ain't gonna ruin it because I know I saw that he's supposed to be on talkshoe.com tomorrow. So I'm not gonna ruin it in case he might go over it. The author, you might hear it directly from the author. So I'm not gonna ruin that. But if he doesn't go over it, then I might segue into that next week. Because I'm coming from this book again next week. But I do recommend you get all the books that Richard K. Page has written. All right. Fabulous books, on point. And like I said, it's coming from more of a Gnostic perspective. You have different kinds of Luciferians. Okay, you have different kinds of Luciferians. You have some that are theistic Luciferians. Well, in essence, that's not me. Okay. Gnosticism, or being a Gnostic, basically is dealing with the esoteric perspective of knowledge, especially Luciferian mystical kind of knowledge. Whereas when you deal with theistic, what you're mostly dealing with in its essence is almost a sense of worship. You're back to religion. So you bypass God, Jesus, Allah, but then you took his dualistic form in that tradition and said, well, I accept Lucifer to be a god then. Okay, that's fine. You could accept a monkey to be your god, Hanuman, or the Monkey King, right? You could accept that to be a god. I don't care. You could accept the Pillsbury Doughboy to be your god. You could accept one of the Eminem characters in the commercials to be your god. Doesn't matter who the hell you want to accept it to be your god. The point is, if you're theistic, you still believe in the existence of gods or goddesses. Now, the part I was going to go over here, but I'm going to save it, is in the fact that he actually goes over how gods are not even real. Okay? They're metaphors. And let me see if I can find it. I'm going to just share that part real quick. Okay. Let me see if I can find it, y'all. In the book Exploring the Divine, he goes over the fact that those which we consider external spiritual entities are merely personifications of our isolated emotions. Mm-hmm. All right. Most people will call them angels, gods, and demons. The author calls them aspects. Aspects exist both independently and within us. Lower level summoning manifests these aspects. We do so within ourselves or imbue them unto others. Higher level procedures, external summoning. So you got to understand, when I also go into this, and other individuals go into this as well, it's archetypes. Archetypes are metaphors. They're really metaphors or aspects of characteristics, attributes, powers, and abilities that are dormant within you. The metaphors were created by high priests and priestesses of certain orders, societies that became religions and traditions later on down the line. A lot of it was created to give people hope, to give people an example of ways they can reach greater heights within themselves. And then down the line, it became a religion because people feel like they can't do it on their own a lot of times. So they rather have an external thing to worship, to connect to. And that basically defeats the purpose within being the God over yourself. So as a Gnostic, or dealing with the gnosis, the knowledge or the truth of the esoteric sciences, what is esoteric compared to exoteric? Esoteric is the inner truth of what makes you as an individual, the inner truth of how you are divine, or how you are the divine demonic feminine or divine demonic masculine. That's the inner truth. Then there's the exoteric, or the outer knowledge of it, which became religion. See, certain esoteric or esoteric truth filtered out of certain orders or temples and were grafted into what became modern day religions across the board. The inner truths have always been held within the doors or the temples or the gateways, held there for a reason. So Gnosticism combined with Luciferianism is basically the mystical or esoteric knowledge on how you are the center of the universe, you are the God, and you are the master that runs your life. So the author is a Gnostic Luciferian, and his books are on point. I would check that out. The path I walk, I use a lot of Gnosticism for a lot of the workings I do. Okay. So I'm gonna hold off on that ritual to next week. If he doesn't discuss it on Talk Shoe tomorrow, then I'm going to go over the actual baptism ceremony ritual for working and bringing in the Luciferian current. All right. So let me go and see if y'all have any questions here. Brother Wacky J in the house. Put the link for the show tomorrow. Okay. All right, Baliki, hit me up at darkoccultist99@outlook.com. If you're still there, hit me up at darkoccultist99@outlook.com. Okay. If you're still there, do that. So let me scroll up, see if we have anything. Let me see if there's any questions or comments on here, and then we'll start taking questions. If you have any questions, start typing them in now. Okay, start typing them in now. So by the time I scroll to the bottom, I can get to answering them. Okay, a lot of greetings. All right. Okay. Wacky J says that was a very strong point. Question you asked last week. A self-evaluation immediately upon asking myself, are you living your passion? If not, why? Yeah, I did ask that last week. And I'm happy you reminded me, because people were supposed to do that as some homework for themselves. Are you living your passion? Yes? Wonderful. If you're not, ask yourself why. You should be living your passion today. And if you haven't started today, start right now. If you haven't started right now, start 1 minute from now. The point is, start living your passion. If not, guess what you're doing? You're living someone else's passion. They're benefiting off of their passion from you. Stop feeding your energy to other people and cultivate that energy and feed yourself that energy. All right. Hello, Gypsy Goddess. All right. The concept of tongues, a matter of words. Okay. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, Will9323. So if you can clarify, type in what you mean by that, or clarify it a little more, then I'll gladly go over that. But I do know this, and the author even specifies this here. People will tell you that using Latin or Hebrew or Arabic for their rituals makes it more profound. Again, if that is what you believe, then it will be. Okay? But is it really? No, it's not. What makes usage of words profound is your understanding and grasping the understanding and meaning of the words. So I can do a chant, Om Namah Shivaya, all day and night. But if I don't really understand the meaning of the words, if I don't understand, and I don't just mean, okay, I looked up the definition of Om Namah Shivaya and this is what it means. Anybody could do that. That's not what I'm talking about. When I mean understand the meaning, I mean how it resonates with your heart, how it resonates with your solar plexus, how it resonates with your intellect, how it resonates. Not just, okay, it means this, so I'm gonna just use it. It's wonderful. I could make a chant too, Om Pillsbury Doughboy, Om, and it could be real to me. And I can manifest super amount of shit because I know who Pillsbury Doughboy is, and it's more real to me than someone else. Okay? But I'm just saying, when we use words in rhythms and tones and vibrations and frequencies that it creates, called mantras or hikaos or zikas or things of that nature, you have to have a connection and a resonating frequency with the meaning and vibration and understanding of those words. It just can't be words that you want to use because it makes you feel like you're doing more mystical work because you're using Hebrew and you're using Latin but if you weren't raised speaking that language or learned the language because you were passionate about learning those languages, sometimes you're at a disadvantage because the meaning of the words don't resonate with your DNA. They don't resonate with your soul. They don't resonate with these things. So it's kind of like distancing yourself or trying to connect with something that really you have no connection with. So I don't know if that's what you meant, but if not, type in what you did mean at the bottom. Square in the circle. Okay. Yes. Well, what's interesting is that the circle is the square. I don't know if people understand this concept, but let's try to break it down real quick. When I said earlier that the dot created the line created the wall. I mean, the line created the dot created the line creates a wall creates a square. More so a cube, because a square is still flat dimensionally. A cube is interdimensional, okay? Or its depth is interdimensional, or 3D, as some would say. When you do that, okay, you have to understand that the circle is also a square. Huh? What? What do you mean? Here's the science behind that. Take a circle, draw the 4 points on it, north, south, east, and west. Do you see it? Do you see it? Let me see if I have paper around here to see if I could draw this. Let me see if I could draw this. Oh, I do have paper around here. Give me a second, young. Let me try to get this paper. Let's see if I could draw this. Don't laugh, y'all. I'm not an artist. So. All right. Let me see. Let me see if I have a marker in here. Yeah, I got a marker. All right. So you have the circle. That's a retarded ass circle. You draw the 4 points, north, south, east, and west. Okay. There's a circle. Don't laugh. It's a retarded circle. I'm not an artist. 4 points. The circle becomes a square. How? Turn the 4 points inside out. You just created 4 cubes. Anyways, another story. All right. So let's keep it moving. That's right. I'll do the Sith code at the end. I'll finish all of my videos now with the Sith code. If I forget, well, okay, yeah, you want me to repeat the abracadabra? Sure. If you get this book, I'll tell you what page is on. It's on page 128. And it says, Abracadabra. I create what I speak. I realize what I see. I am that I am. Again, abracadabra. I create what I speak. I realize what I see. I am that I am. Now, there's this dope ritual invocation that I've worked on myself and a couple other people. It's for the demonic integration, and it really brings forth the demonic aspect of yourself, or your true genius self, supernatural genius self. The invocation is tight, y'all. It's utilizing the principle of Seth or Set and Lucifer. So if anybody wants wants to try it, email me, darkcultist99@outlook.com. It's pretty dope. All right, so let me keep going. Yes, that's what it means. I create what I speak. But the author just added more to it because you're the God of your universe, so you can add on to what the definition is to create a definition that means more to you. So let's go. Yes, Will 9323. Notice that even your parents tell you since you were young, the world doesn't revolve around you. Oh, you think the world revolves around you? If you knew what you know now as a little kid, and you looked at your parents and say, "Hell yeah, it does." You had two choices if you said that, by the way. One, duck. You know why you had to duck. Two, hope your little butt don't get tore up. For anybody who, been in Puerto Rican households, Caribbean households, even here, a lot of African Americans do it. It's called chancletas, which basically in English is like, house shoes, flip-flop sandals. Our grandmothers and mothers were famous for throwing that ish at you. Okay? I don't know how many of y'all had them chancletas or them sandals and the old house shoes grandma used to have or moms had that you just couldn't touch. When you acted up, and things was thrown at you from afar. So if we knew that and said it then, okay, that's what probably would have happened. But still, it would have been enforcing your God self. Okay. That's right. Use energy wisely. All right. So, Tanisha, let me know if you ever slide up through Orlando. It's only 3 hours, 3 hours, 15 minutes. Nawapians versus Israelites. That is beyond the dumbest thing ever. That's the most retarded thing ever. They're both dumber than dumb. Anyway, it's another story. Rogue Titan says, eat that energy up. All right. Yes, Trump is the greatest dayside vampire ever because Trump is famous for getting people emotional, specifically melanated people. He is numero uno for getting melanated people riled up emotionally, and all he does, feed them. That's all that Trump is saying. Feed me that energy. Get emotional. Get angry. Yeah, and we do it our peoples do it every time. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh shit, this shit just jumped. Hold on, yo. Okay. We're all guilty of a lot of things. That's what we have to realize. The things that we're guilty of hurting ourselves with, the things that we no longer could justify. We got to make moves to overcome it. Yeah, Balik. I-4 is, listen, because they got construction. I-4 is the major highway here. They got construction everywhere. One day an exit could be there, the next day that exit gone. And you got to do some crazy ish. All right, so let's see. That's right. In the Hindu concept, it is mostly metaphors and ancestors. But what's happened to Hinduism is Hinduism has become a major religion, and most of the people I've met that are from India and really into Hinduism have made it a religion just like Christianity. It's become super religious. Super religious. That's the problem. But as long as you, as your own God, knows how to work with these things, it will benefit you. Rogue Titan put his email address here. His Instagram address is the Rogue Titan 0125. And his email is Shannon.Jeffries0125 at gmail.com. Me and the brother will be on Zoom at Sunday. We will be using Zoom Sunday at 7 p.m. Hope to see y'all there. We'll be discussing the deific mass, the purpose of deific mass, how to use it, how to work it, how to benefit from it. We'll be there Sunday at 7 p.m. on Zoom. If you want to get an invite, because I send an email list out. I have an email list and I send out the email, which I'll probably do tomorrow for the class Sunday, okay, on Zoom at 7 p.m. If you want to get on the email list, email me at darkoccultist99@outlook.com. The difference with Zoom compared to YouTube or Google Hangouts is Google Hangouts good, but there's a difference in Zoom. In Zoom, I can see everybody at once, and y'all can see all me at once, and I can actually go around the room and ask each person a question. We can see you, and you can be heard asking a question. That's the reason I use Zoom a lot now, because it works in a lot better fashion, and I can actually, instead of reading this from over here in the chat room, you could actually be heard asking a question and ask 2 or 3 questions at one time. So hope to see y'all there Sunday at 7 o'clock. The brother Rogue Titan and myself will be on Zoom at 7 p.m. The sister Cosmic Serpent was supposed to be there as well as the Triad of Darkness. The Triad of Darkness is the sister of the Cosmic Serpent, myself, Darth Ravana Noon. I'm the Darth. Anyways, Darth Ravana Noon and the brother Rogue Titan. That's the Triad of Darkness. We were supposed to do a class this Sunday together on Zoom, but unfortunately she had personal matters to take care of, and she'll be there next Sunday. So hope to see y'all there next Sunday, supporting the sister and ourselves, but hope to see y'all there this Sunday. But let me keep going through these questions. High empathy and vampirism, good mix or not? Interesting question, and very powerful question at that. I'm an empath, been an empath for years, but I learned how to shut it off some time ago, and when to let things in and when to not let things in. It's not easy, but after years of practice, it becomes easier. As a vampire, the empathic abilities can actually benefit you sometimes. Let me explain why. Because you're an empath, you can feel people's emotions, even read their thoughts at times. You know if this is some energy you want to feed off of or absorb. So Jaja, yes, it can help you. It helps you because of that very thing. You can see how their thought patterns are, if it's beneficial for you, and is their energy beneficial for you? Is their their force, their life force, their prana, their chi, is it beneficial for you, or does it have too many tainted energy that can be adverse to you? So yes, it can benefit you. The only thing is, because you're an empath, the residue and the emotional effects of it can sometimes be detrimental too. So it's before you really get into the vampirism, you got to really learn how to control the empathic side of letting in the emotions or feelings or thoughts from other people. You got to put a shield up for that not to penetrate so deeply. So, yeah, hope that answers your question. Yeah, well, never stop feeding. I can tell you that, Lavertus. Never stop feeding no matter what. There is a difference between Luciferianism and Satanism. In so many words, Satanism is the first step to break the religious programming, the social programming, religious conditioning, things of that nature. It's the rebellious stage. It's the rebellious stage. It's when you first step out to rebel against what you've been indoctrinated in and programmed by. And so it takes the step of rebellion, and it takes the steps of indulging, and sometimes indulging a little too much. Okay. But what happens is, as people progress through Satanism, they start to seek more endarkment, which has been termed enlightenment. They start to seek more endarkment, which leads them more into the path of Luciferianism, whereas Luciferianism is mastering the dark, the shadow self, the dark part of yourself, to bring intellect, or what they call the light, to another level of consciousness within you. So it's merging the dark and the light. This is why Lucifer is also given the title Prince of Darkness, and other times is known as the Son of the Morning Star. You come from the darkness, the shadow, the noon. That's why I use the name Noon in my name. You come from the chaotic waters, the abyss of Noon and Noonette, and you graduate to become the Son of the Morning Star, which is symbolic or connected to Khepri or Khepra. You get the Egyptian or Kemetic symbolism is very similar to the Luciferian symbolism. You then become more enlightened, or you receive more intellect because you've mastered the dark or shadow aspects of yourself. So you begin to rise as Khepra. Okay? I hope that answers your question. If it moves you, Necrocanon, then there's a passion there. And that passion causes a vibration and frequency that allows you to master the language, learn the language, and speak it. But if we were to say, okay, to someone else, use Japanese in your rituals because it's more powerful, it really is not true that it's more powerful. Just because it's a more older or ancient language, a more of a tone or vibration language, or tone and frequency or rhythm language, that's not necessarily true. If your heart is not connected or have a passion for those languages, then it doesn't make it more effective. People have for years said, oh, well, I use Arabic or Latin or Hebrew or Sumerian or whatever in my rituals because it's more powerful. Why? It's more powerful because you accept that to be true. You're the God of your universe, so you accept it to be true, so it will be true. Okay. However, it's not really true. What's true is whatever language you speak, if your passion is behind the invocation, the evocations, or the chants, is just as effective as using an ancient language. Oh shit, this skipped. Hold on, yeah. Okay. Just I 3, yes, Prometheus has symbolism that's very similar to Lucifer. There is really not a big difference between Prometheus and Luciferian except history or time. They're very similar in their concepts, very similar in their mythos. So, yes, you can use Prometheus on this path. Why wouldn't you be able to use Prometheus is the question I should have asked. Of course, on the left-hand path, as a Luciferian, never let anybody tell you you can't use anything. On the left-hand path, as a Luciferian, you take away from every path that you can see or find to benefit you. So if you want to use the Greek mythos, it can empower you because you're the God that's dictating that it can empower you. Your intention and your passion and your desires behind working with that archetype and the mythos of that archetype, it can benefit you. People ask this quite often, so I'm happy you asked it. Some people say, can I still work with Shango on the left-hand path? Why do people think you can't work with Shango on the left-hand path? I'm going to start asking people that. Just because you're on the left-hand path does not mean everything has to be demonic, dark, mysterious, so-called evil. That's a lie. You're using the current of that archetype, the current of Shango, the divine masculine warrior archetype. So let's say that you need some real busting up kind of energy to focus on overcoming certain situations or problems in your life. Okay? So just because you're in the left-hand path does not mean I cannot use Shango anymore. Yes, you can. Because that warrior archetype may be specifically what you need to overcome an obstacle or blockage. I said this the other day. I think I said it Thursday night, so y'all weren't there, but I still use aspects of Sufism on the left-hand path. That doesn't mean that I worship and pray and call out to Allah. That's not what it means. What it means is that I use certain aspects. Okay? I use certain aspects of the certain aspects of Sufism in my work. For example, I use the dhikr and I use the 99 attributes of Allah because I am in the personage. I am Allah. You understand? The 5%ers had it right. It was an acronym that they created out of the Arabic word Allah. Arm, lega, lega, arm, head. Meaning I am the master, the God of my own universe. So I can dhikr any of the 99 attributes of Allah because I am Allah for whatever purpose. I still have my dhikr beads and I use them. So understand that you're not limited. One of the attributes of Allah that I dhikr all the time with my dhikr beads, 99 beads, okay, is al-Mu'mit. It means the destroyer. Why in particular am I using that one alone? Because there's certain aspects of myself that I am trying to destroy, annihilate, to absorb and devour the energy and frequency to transmute it to something that's beneficial. In other words, I'm doing alchemy. I'm taking a weakness and turning it into a strength. But to do that, I have to destroy the blockage or the obstacle that's stopping me from getting to the root of that problem. And then I transmute it to something that's beneficial. Like somebody asked me, well, give me an example. Anger. I used to suffer from serious anger issues in my youth. Shit. Even into my 20s, I suffered some serious anger issues. Okay? So what did I do? I had to get to the root of where that anger issue comes from. I know where it comes from now because I did the work. So I used Al Meat and did the zikr over and over and over to destroy the obstacle and blockage, to get to the root, to confront where that problem came from. And then I also can use Al Meat if somebody is crossing the line and violently threatening myself, my loved ones, or anything like that, my inner circle, my loved ones, and myself, if they cross the line, disrespecting with a violent intent, I chant Amut Meat to bring death. Oh, there is no morals that I'm gonna ever hold on to from the past. You cross the line trying to hurt me violently and try to take my life, I'm gonna destroy you. And if it means to, I'm gonna take your life. That's black magic all the way, and I will use it. I have many rituals, and I know many rituals, and I use them all if I have to. But that's not my focal point. My focal point is to destroy the obstacles and blockages within me to become the master over myself. Don't get it twisted. You cross the line, I'm gonna take you out. Many different ways, but that's another story. So yes, you can use Prometheus. You can use whatever you are attracted to. I use the Sith. People will say, yeah, but that's fictitious. To use fictitious, but to me, the principles and concept of the Sith are more real sometimes than this BS crap from the past. You may not agree, but that's your God-given right to not agree. I would disagree, but that's my God-given right to disagree. But I use the principles and the workings of the Sith to do a lot of my work. And the Sith and the vampiric energies or currents are almost identical in many different ways. I'll give you an example of what I mean. The vampiric current, a lot of it is designed to empower yourself and energize yourself, okay? To be a master of yourself and also to energize yourself so you devour life force energy around you, specifically from people or from other things around you. The Sith, certain Darths, okay, like Darth Nihilus, even Darth Sidious, Darth Vitiate, who became known as Valkorian later, were able to devour the life force of the planet, entire planet. And in Sith sorcery, one of the powers or one of the aspects of Sith sorcery is learning how to devour everything in existence around you, to empower you and make you stronger. Okay? Another connection that vampiric has to Sithism. There's a certain level that you get to in the Sith where you learn to bind spirits. Yes, you bind the spirit. People would call it invoking the spirit or being possessed by the spirit. There's a difference though. The Sith don't invoke it just for knowledge, wisdom, power. They bind the spirit to do their bidding. I'm gonna take you, spirit. I'm binding you to myself because I need your power, your knowledge, your wisdom for a certain work that needs to be done. Then when I'm done, I unbind you. Okay? The currents are very similar. This is why on Thursdays we're doing a lot of private classes now where we're going in depth to opening the Temple of the Abyss. The Temple of the Abyss is dealing with the shadow work, the shadow current, the vampiric current, the Luciferian current, the Sithic current, black magic current. We're going deeper into that for things that we're not going to discuss here in public. It's more private because we're going to discuss things that are private to our own self, and then we might want to share that we don't want others to hear, so we don't record those. It's just us speaking. But also the Temple of the Abyss has degrees. We're going to have 9 degrees, okay? Once you get through those 9 degrees, then you branch off to either the Order of the Black Serpent or the Order of the Red Serpent. The Order of the Red Serpent is for the divine, demonic, feminine energy. That's the order for the females. I don't run that. I cannot run that. I do not have in the physical form. I'm not in the physical gendered form. So that is for sisters to run, create, and work it. The Order of the Black Dragon, I mean, not, sheesh. The Order of the Black Serpent is myself and other brothers putting it together to work the divine, demonic, masculine energy. That's when we're going to get in depth to some of these questions y'all been asking on how to really work it, like really step by step, to show you how to do the vampiric by example. Like, in other words, if we get together, we do a ritual, we would go out and I would show y'all, this is how you feed when you're in the mall. We told y'all on different things, but this is how you would feed. This is how I would show you mine. And then the brother Rogue Titan will show you how he does his. And let's say the brother Necro Cannon will show you how he does his. So we get to see these things with our own eyes and not just hear it with the words. That's what we're trying to work. So to go back, work whatever you are attracted to. Okay. Good. If that's the first language you picked up, that you really can understand and it moves you in passion and frequency, then keep working that. Right. I honor myself when I I honor myself and I bow to myself. Again, internalizing the God principle of self. The Stubby Show, that's correct. If you judge yourself harshly, some would say negatively, then it could unalign you from who you really are, or what your true purpose is, or what your true work is. So it's not a problem to judge, but don't judge yourself harshly or so negatively that it has a negative counter or negative effect. Okay. How do you become inspired from within as opposed to from what you see? That's an excellent question, Tanisha Palmer, because much of how we've been programmed is external. So, of course, a lot of our inspiration comes from the clothes we see. So we want to create our own little style or fashion, from the music we hear, things like that. How do you inspire yourself from within? You shut out the world. How do you do that? I gave this Thursday nap, so I'm going to share this now. Go into your closet. I know it sounds strange for some, but we're going to say it. Go into your closet. Hopefully you don't have window in there. You might be a fancy smashy and have a window in your closet. If you do, cover the window, get some blackout curtains, cover the doorway so no light shines in there. And sit in there for at least 3 hours. What you're doing is desensitizing yourself from external stimulation. As you sit there longer, you're going to start hearing your true self or your higher self speak loudly to you. Right now, when we hear things, sometimes it's not our true voice or our true self speaking. It's things that's been programmed from media, from movies, television, from magazines, from social media, from our family, from our friends. When you shut all that out and you just focus on going internally, and you go into this dark room, you desensitize and you make yourself, you basically release all that and you focus on the darker shadow aspects of yourself, then the demonic self or the true self starts to speak up to you, and you start to hear all the things that we've been avoiding, not focusing on, working on, or what we should do. Then you start to hear where your true passion or inspiration comes from. You know, I'm inspired to do this work because X, Y, and Z, not because this, that, and the third. I hope that gives you a little example of what you could do, how you could do it. What do I mean by out of the blue? What do I mean by once you go down the vampiric path, you are forever changed? Okay. Once you really take on the vampiric current, you realize that everything in existence revolves around predator or prey. And once you realize that you are no longer subjected to being a servant or slave to anything or anyone, You now become the master over your domain, the master over your life. Everything happens according to your will, to your intent, to your passion, your desire, and your power. It changes you forever because no longer will you ever want to submit to anything or anyone else. This is what is one of the most profound transformations possible. But for you to really understand that out of the blue would mean you would have to actually experience it more for yourself to really get the gist or basis of it. The baptism of the Luciferian current, which is in that book. So if you get the book before I get to next week, you can read through it and we can go into it all together and decipher and break it down. Plus, you'll hear the author tomorrow. So you'll have even more insight because you'll understand the author as the God universe that the author is authoring the book, and their perception on it helps you understand more and how it relates to you. But we could go over that more next week because the actual ritual in itself will actually help you understand the very question you're asking. That's right. Alchemy is deeper than we think, and when you really go into it, you can understand it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Wait. I jumped. Hold on, y'all. Gotta find where I was. Okay, why is it said you can't take advantage of people on this path? Some rape and sacrifice kids and continue to strive. Listen. Again, people will tell you what they feel you should or should not do on this path. And we could either accept that as what it should be, or we can go against that. The basis of left-hand path is the adversary current, to go against the grain, to go against conventional thinking, to go against the cattle, the herd mentality, to go against the sheep mentality. So, Tanisha, T. Carter, I will tell you this, that if an individual is hurting kids, women, elderly people, you don't have to not harm people. That's white magic in essence. When you get to black magic or you get really in depth into the adversary current, if somebody crosses that line and hurts a child, hurts a family member, hurts a woman, rapes a woman, destroy them, devour them. I have many destruction and devouring rituals that I have put together, that I have other people have shared with me, that I use when necessary. So individuals like that, you could take somebody who hurt a child and devour them. Now, people will be like, yeah, but I don't want that energy. You're not devouring them so you can take their energy and have a good old time with it. You're devouring them in the sense that you're devouring their very essence, their very consciousness, their very existence, where they then become a mindless zombie. When they become a mindless zombie, you can lead them to their own destruction. I have no problem destroying and devouring anything that crosses the line. Again, well, people will say, well, yeah, but that's morality. Listen, we break social morality, religious morality, family morality, and everything you were taught. Once you dissect all of that, question all of that, you then formulate what is moral to you. And that is where you go off of what you consider to be moral to you. It's not about not having morals. It's about the morals that you create based upon your own intellect and consciousness. You created that, not based on social programming, family, society programming. It's based upon what you feel is moral or immoral to you. So do not get twisted on this path. People are immoral. That's not the case. Their morality is going to be different for each individual based upon their work, their transformation, their understanding, and what they consider to be moral or immoral. And we may clash heads sometimes on what is moral or moral because that's a personal thing, but it's not a society thing or conditioning thing. I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. People who rape or hurt kids, women, or things like that. A lot of times those people are psychopaths or sociopaths. They have and always have had an issue in life since childhood. Okay? What happened is they didn't get the help necessary to learn how to deal with that. So it goes into the extreme form and they start to become serial killers, they start to become rapists, they start to become sadistic and things of that nature. As a vampire, you devour all that ish because there is no such thing as, oh, this is wrong or right. It is what you consider to be wrong or right to you. And if that crosses your line, devour that individual and destroy them. Destroy them till they don't have any essence left and don't exist. I say it that way because any other way would be me construed. It would be misconstrued as me telling you to go kill someone. And I do not and will never tell anybody to do that. So do not say Ravana Noon said a damn thing. Keep it legal, people. That's all I'm going to say. But yes, if that is what bothers you and has crossed what you consider to be moral or immoral, then do the job of destruction and destroy the very people that did that. I can almost guarantee that this is a personal thing that you've had to deal with just based upon the frequency and the emotions and energy that I feel from you. It's a personal thing you had to deal with. I understand you 100%. If that's the case, destroy and devour. If you need any rituals to do things like that, hit me up and I'll send them to you. All right, Tanisha Palmer. Okay, there's many different things. There are many different rituals, many different things to work with. The 72 geniuses. There's 72 demons of Set. There's 72 angels. There's on and on and on. I could tell you this. If what is my wisdom concerning invoking that? Listen, simple. If something works for you, use it. If it works for you, use it. Just because myself may not use it or other people, it's irrelevant. Use it if it works for you and has been working for you. Or if you want to try it and then you get results, keep using it and work it. Everybody's going to have something different in their personal workings that is not going to be across the board accepted by everybody. This is why when I create the order, I'm doing the things that people constantly ask me questions on, things that people are interested on. That's the main things I'm dealing with. The order just doesn't deal with that because we're going to go deeply into shadow work that's coming not from one path. It's just going straight into dealing with more of the shamanic aspect of the shadow work. Okay. Going deep into busting up the things that we don't deal with or the things that we haven't dealt with to overcome. So if that works for you and works with the 72, that's we're invoking the 72 geniuses, work it. Me personally, I invoke the 72 demons. I'm just saying, that's just me what I do with, all right? Now, the 72 geniuses could be the 72 demons because the ancient word for demon really comes from the Greek daemon or demon, which basically was super genius or supernatural powers or abilities. That's what it really refers to. So whether we call them 72 demons, 72 angels, the current itself, the 72 demons of Set, doesn't matter. The current is similar in respect that is 72. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 is completion and rebirth. That's simply when you work with any current that has 72 in it, the purpose of working with 72 anything is for completion and rebirth. That's why we work with the number 72, whether it's geniuses, demons, fiends, whatever, is to work with the current of completion and rebirth. That's the essence of why 72 is commonly called or utilized across the occult world. that's simply where it takes you to the essence of it. That's correct, Rogue Titan. Empaths make the best vampires. That's why I be on my ish. I'm gonna eventually create like 2 other channels. I'm gonna create a channel that's gonna specifically go over books, give different authors and books that people should have, book lists, things like that. And I'm gonna create another channel that's gonna be strictly for the hip hop occult. My brother Rogue Titan inspired me to get back on this. I'm gonna share my history of hip hop. I've been in Zulu Nation. My good friend at one time, I was really close to Bambaataa, things like that. I'm gonna relate that to the occult and hip hop. I'm gonna make contacts with some of the rappers I know who are in the occult, and if they're willing to come out and speak on it, I'm gonna see if I can make contact with some of them. But I'm gonna make a third channel for hip hop and the occult. Okay, and that's what we're gonna strictly deal with. We're gonna strictly go into the occult aspects of hip hop, how some of the MCs or rappers have been into the occult for years. We're gonna show how the correlation between the birth of hip hop is similar to our African traditions and cultures and indigenous traditions and cultures. I'm gonna tie it all in. So that's gonna be a third channel I'm working on. See, it's a lot of stuff. I work on a lot of stuff. I'm doing the temple. I'm doing the orders. I'm doing real estate investment, which takes up most of my time as far as finding the deals, making the deals. That's the bread and butter. This is my passion. Real estate is my passion, but that's passion for, abundance and prosperity to exist and be able to offer y'all things for next to no cost or small cost. For the vampiric classes, people were asking, well, what would be the cost for that? Get ready, y'all. Are you ready for the whopping number? Are you ready to be shocked? It's only going to be $20 for vampiric classes. That's it. Now, just because you hear $20, that means that y'all should be motivated to say, word, that's it? Yeah, that's it. There ain't no catch to it. What's the catch, Ravana? What? There's no catch. I don't need people's money. I have my own money for everything. You understand me? So I don't need people's money. The $20 basically for my time and essence. I'm working for it, putting together things like that. Otherwise than that, I'm busy flipping houses, renting houses, doing all this. This is my focus. That's what I mostly do. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm working on the occult day and night for y'all. Mostly for myself, but a lot for y'all too. So yeah, those 2 channels are gonna be in existence. Brother Rogue Titan, I'm gonna bring him on board to the hip hop occult channel because we're gonna be going in on that. I am a little older, so I've been in hip hop for. Let's see, I got into hip hop 1979. I was 8 years. Oh shit! Did I just say my age? Anyways, okay, let's keep it moving, y'all. All right, where am I at? Yes, whatever vibrates best for you or whatever resonates best with you is what works the best for you. This is why, like for example, Demetrius could be more into the Sumerian Hindu aspect. Myself, I could be more into the jinn, the vampiric, and the Luciferian aspect. We're all similar across the board on things we're attracted to, but we are more passionate about certain things that are a little different. So that's what you always focus on when you're doing your work. You could use the angel Gabriel. You can use the angel Gabriel. I'm gonna just say this: you can use the angel Gabriel if that's what you want to work with, the archangels, things like that. The reason why I don't specifically talk about things like that, won't go deeper into things like that, is because when we get back into angel Gabriel and Michael and things like that, in essence, we're still coming from a religious programming. Now, we may not think we are, but if we go back into our subconscious and the programming, sometimes we stick to those things or attracted back to those things because the religious programming is that deep in us. I'm not saying that is the case with you, T. Carter. I'm just saying overall, this is the things that attract us or keep those things alive in our life. When we walk the adversarial current, we're walking the current that is against all of that, going to exactly things that are opposite or different than that. So myself, I wouldn't work with Gabriel if you paid me $1 million. I'm just not gonna do it. I know some people say, "Yo, I'll take the million and work with Gabriel," and not happening. Because what I work with is gonna give me $2 million or more. I'm just saying. Anyways, you can use, and T. Carter, to answer the second part of your question, you can use anything from any path as an archetype. Like I said earlier, you could use Shango, you could use Oya, you could use Ogun, you could use Obatala, you could use Oshun, you could use Yamaya, you could use Ra, you could use Tahuti, you could use Heru, you could use Set, you could use Hanum, you could use whatever you're resonating with, use it. But the disclaimer is this: you are the God that is. So if you're using it, use it as a metaphor or as a deific mass that you're embodying the energy, frequency, vibration, characteristics, and current of that, and not bowing, groveling, or worshiping, because there can be a fine line sometimes, and we can easily swing from the line of being a deific, embodying, to slowly but surely worshiping. And that's happened to some people I've known in the past. And it's hard because you still are going to go back and forth because the religious program is still deep. This is why the first thing we do in the Temple of the Abyss is focus on the shadow work, breaking the conditioning and programming and really breaking free from that. So in that Temple of the Abyss, when we get into the classes, that we're going to go over Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, and how it still may have an effect in you, how it can still control you. We're going to go over into the fact that you still may have religious beliefs by going through the Bible and dissecting the Bible to show you where the wisdom is and show you where the programming is to keep you a slave forever. This is some of the things we're going to do in the Temple of the Abyss because it's still there, y'all. I don't give a damn what any of us says right now. The religious programming is still there. And if it's still there, you can easily go from deific mass, embodying the currency, the frequency, the current, the frequency, and the vibration and characteristics of an archetype, to worshiping it. If you feel like you got to put fruit in front of a statue, you're crossing the fine line between worship and deific mass. If you got to put a fruit in front of something, you're slowly encroaching the level of worship again. The question I ask is, if you put a fruit in front of a statue, like Obatala, let's say, you come back 2 days later, why do people say, "Oh, Obatala ate the fruit"? Huh? What? Let me say that again. You put a fruit in front of Obatala. Let's just say, I'm just hypothetically saying, you put a fruit there. A week later, you come back in. The fruit is gone almost, it's decayed. In other words, decayed. Where it's not gone, it's just decayed, and it's shriveled up and everything else. And people be like, "Oh, look at how lovely Obatala ate the fruit. He's happy with me." No. It's called nature. It's called the evolution and evolution. It's called decaying. Okay? It's called the natural process of life. But we want to spookyize it and say Obatala ate it. See, that's when you're crossing the line and getting into Spookville. I could go on social media right now and find you 10 posts in 1 minute where people say this or show this on their videos or talk about it in memes or say things like that. That quick. Yet they're super fragilistic, expialidociously dope, They're the greatest magician, the greatest witch, the greatest sorcerer that ever existed, the greatest wizard, but they're still groveling and worshiping. As a Gnostic Luciferian, the gods are just metaphors that exist within me and tied into my emotional current and tied into my conscious current. So let me just hush for now. I think I went on a tangent there, but I just had to express it. Do you need the Zoom app? No, if you have the internet, you could actually go through the internet to get into Zoom, but you would need the invite, or you could call in. There is a phone number there that you could call in to be heard. You just won't be seen, but you could be heard and you could hear us. So you'll be able to ask questions that way. Okay. So you don't need the app for Zoom, but if you want to put it on your phone or your computer, that's fine. I have that Zoom app on my computer. It actually works better than using the phone, but you go straight through the internet, or you can call in. So you have the choices. So when if you email me to give you an invite, and everybody should start sending me emails for invites tonight or tomorrow, so I can send it out tomorrow evening by 7 p.m. I usually send it out by 6 or 7. Then you'll see the link and the information there for everything, so you can check what best may work for you. Lavertus Tucker. I draw my archetype and put the movie comic book in my head. Self-creation is the key to self-mastery, which unlocks the chest to self-godhood. Yes. That's dope that you said that, because I'm a comic book collector. I got a whole bookshelf with a lot of comic books there. One of the things about comic books is that the author is trying to let you see things from the eyes of the hero or the eyes of the adversary. So if you ever notice when you're looking at the comic books or reading the comic books, it's speaking as if you are that individual. Okay, this is alchemy for anybody, or this is some ritualistic work that you could do for anybody who likes comic books. Notice how you're reading it as if you are, let's say, Darth Vader. I have his new series that just came out today. It's called Darth Vader Dark Visions, right? It's written from a third party perspective in that one. But the next issue that comes out is going to be written from Darth Vader's perspective. Comic books are very famous from putting you in the perspective of the archetype or adversary, which is bringing life, the God self within you. Okay, so I'm happy you said that, because if you create or use certain archetypes and you use it like in a movie or comic book, but you're placing yourself as the archetype in that movie, then you're doing the work of the self-mastery and the self-godhood. So that's dope that you said that, and I really I feel that. Well, banishing is stopping or cutting off something, okay, a spirit or anything to stay in that environment, the energy around you or in you. Okay, that's banishing. Binding is taking something and binding it to you. Like I could take this pen and bind it to my hand, right, with some rope or anything, and becomes an extension of my hand, for example. Okay, so when you take that aspect, the Sith bind spirits. What they mostly bind is not just regular spirits of idiots walking around. They bind old Sith masters or Sith lords that they know have certain gifts, knowledge, power, and ability to get certain jobs done. Okay, so for example, me as Darth Ravana, I would love to bind Darth Bane, who created the rule of two in the Sith. The reason why I don't go over the Sith so much in the Temple of the Abyss is because once you go through the order, you become a master Once you become a master, as a master, you will then understand what the rule of two is a Sith. A real Sith does not work in an order or an academy. A real Sith works from the rule of two, which is there's always a master and an apprentice. Okay, the master embodies the power, the knowledge, and the wisdom, and the apprentice craves the power, the knowledge, and the wisdom that the master has. So eventually, the apprentice has to devour or destroy the master, or bind or become one with the master. There's a science that, anyway, it's another science, but so that's binding in essence. Is taking. I would take Darth Bane, who created the Rule of Two and the meaning behind the Rule of Two, who found a Sith holocron of Darth. My God, my mind went back. Darth Revan. Okay, Darth Revan used to be a Jedi, became a Sith Lord years later. He had a holocron. A holocron is basically a Sith holocron is like a pyramid shaped structure that had technology or holographic image in there, where the Sith Lord was able to reveal the knowledge and wisdom that was recorded within that holocron to be able to be passed on. When he found that, he learned about the rule of two. And the problem with the Sith is that they always were attacking and destroying each other, because as one rose up to be a master, here came another who never really was a master, okay, trying to take that. When you create the rule of two, you eliminate all these little factions, and it's basically you as the one and other people trying to get what you have. But in order to get what you have, they have to master what you have. They have to learn everything that you can give. So for a time, they will be your apprentice, eventually rising up to become their own master. That's who I embody, because Darth Bane was a master of Sith sorcery. He knew all the dark rituals possible to bind spirits, dark rituals, how to use dark energy and dark matter to create, to destroy. So I would bind that into me. And then that power, that gift and ability, that knowledge and wisdom would be mine, because I would have binded Darth Bane to me and have that same everything within me, and have the conscience Darth Bane, which would speak to me from within. That's binding. In the Sith sense, that is what binding is. Bingo. And that's not Couture. That's actually it's actually SWOTR. Couture is the original one, Knights of the Old Republic. In the game Star Wars The Old Republic, which is the new game that came out of Couture, which you are basically Darth Knox in that game, in the Sith Inquisitor storyline, you do learn to bind spirits in there. For some of y'all who play video games or gamers, the game is online. Okay, get it, because if you really want to see what it was meant to be a Sith, you actually get initiated by playing the whole game. You actually take the place of the current of the Sith while you play the game, and you see that you go through rituals, you go through actual Sith philosophy and teachings. It's dope. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, the Valkorian, that part of the game that's another level. Y'all got to see that. But Valkorian was also able to bind spirits. Remember, Valkorian originally was Darth Tenebrae, who became Darth Vitiate, or the Emperor of Vitiate. Okay, and he was able to devour and destroy planets, but they try to trap Darth Vitiate, and Darth Revan had Darth Vitiate, or the Emperor Vitiate, trapped, but fools let him go, and you find this out in the Sith lore. Let him go, so Darth Vitiate, or Emperor Vitiate, left and learned to bind his spirit with the individual known as Valkorian. And then Valkorian then created a new order, the Knights of the Eternal Throne, in another another area of the galaxy that was close to the galaxy the Sith lived in. It's dope game. Anyways, you gotta check that out. But yeah, Valkorian was able to do that too. You're welcome. Out of the blue, You're welcome. Tanisha Palmer, you're welcome. Okay, Smooth the God. I'm going to write that down right now. Smooth the God suggests a book. Hey, where's my... Okay, here it is. Sith the God. Sith the God. Wow, brother. I just gave you a new name, brother. I called you Sith the God. Smooth the God said, check out the book Overcoming the Archon Through Alchemy. Overcoming the Archon Through Alchemy. Through Alchemy. I'm going to put that on my book list that I'm ordering tomorrow. By John Creeder. And Smooth the God says, great book on devouring all energy. Real talk. Dope, bro. I'm going to check that out. Appreciate that. It's on my list. Yo, I got it too, Chaotic Scott. I just got mine today. Like I said, I have a subscription list. I get my comic books every Friday. I just finished reading that Dark Visions one. It's pretty good, but I'm waiting for the second issue on that series. So, not a coincidence there, Chaotic Scott. Yeah, I've seen the I've heard the Darth Bane of Destruction audio boom. I have that whole trilogy series. I have Darth Bane Path of Destruction. I forgot the second one, and the last one is the Dynasty of Evil, and then I forgot the last one. But anyways, that whole trilogy series, legit. It's legit, man. You got to get it. All right. Okay. When you watch me, most of the time, the number 33 shows up, which supposedly has to do with sending masses. Yeah, I'm always seeing numbers and multiples from 0, 9, 22, and 23 being very frequent. Yes. Synchronicity with numbers and understanding numbers 33. One of the reasons 33 is related to the Ascended Masters, and we learn this symbolism through different orders. Okay, 33 represents the 33. It's really 32 vertebrae, but 33rd is supposed to represent when you master the highest. These vertebrae or these 33 steps are in the back of going up through your spine, and when you get to the 33rd, it represents the mastery, opening the third eye, the illumination. So that's what 33 a lot of times represents. It's connected to that. This is why in Freemasonry they use 32nd degree with 33rd degree. Okay? 32 steps, 32 vertebrae going up to the 33rd step, which opens up the third eye illumination. That's when you've become a master over yourself, which is one of the things they teach in certain orders or lodges. That's right, Darkness Bay. They're all the same, but Goetia or angels are all the same, but it's a big but. You're the god, so it depends on your perception of what a goetic demon is or an angel is. If you look at it as it's all the same and you truly understand that on a conscious level, then yes, it's all the same. But if you're looking at it and still making a division of an angel as being this, then there's religious programming still involved, or a demon as still being this. So I'm gonna work with the demons because I want to get deep and dark, or I don't want to work with. See, understand? Yes, they're the same, but it depends as your God-centered universe, your perception of how you still look at it or how you still see it. And that is what makes it different. In essence, they're all the same, because to a true master, there is no good or bad, the wrong or right. There is just different or varying degrees or varying vibrations or frequencies of the same thing. Okay? Your perception is what determines if something is agreeable or disagreeable, good or bad to you. But if you look at these certain archetypes or these certain symbols as from a religious standpoint, because it's still deep within some of us, and it's simply outwardly in front of us. For many of us, we use our birth date, year 19 this or 2000 this or whatever. We're using still religious format when we use dates and times that still keep that alive in us. So we have to understand that programming runs deep. So yes, in essence, they're all the same, but in your mind or your consciousness, it could be a separation or a difference. And if that still exists, then it's not the same, and it becomes a problem. It can become a problem depending on how you work with it. So I feel you on that, and that's 100. But that's also, every time I press something like this thing jumps. Anyways, that also is something that we have to keep in mind. Out of the Blue describes a book. Let's see what book. Okay, yeah. Out of the Blue put the link to Amazon to buy the Luciferian Alter Ego book, and it's only $9.99, y'all. So the book is not expensive at all. His other book that I got coming, I think it's Ego Sum, is only $8.99. Then the other one is Exegesis, or is it the Divine? The other one's Divine Divinity. I forgot the name of it, but that's only $12.99. So it's not expensive like other books. All right. Yes, that's what it is. It's Darth Bane, Path of Destruction, Ruler 2, and Dynasty of Evil is the third one. I've read all of those several times, but I always go back. I have it highlighted. There's a lot of sections I have highlighted, and then when I read it again, I highlight even more sections that I might have missed the other time. Actually, I'm from the old school, and let me tell you what the old school I mean by that. There was an old school principle that I used to go by. You should read a book at least 7 times. Now, that may sound a lot to y'all, but if you read it 7 times, every time you read it, you're going to see something different every time. So, yeah. I still go by that, and I still share that with people. Read a book 7 times. You really, really want to get the jewels, read the book 7 times. All right? Smooth guy. That's what I work with mostly. Darth Bane as a deific master. That's my number one, numero uno deific master on the Sith path. And then Darth Nihilus is another one. But Darth Nihilus is just raw, chaotic, devouring energy unleashed. And then Darth Sidious, I like him because of his cunning and his cunningness, his deception, and how he veiled himself in the shadows. Even though he was the senator of the Galactic Senate, he was the ruling senator and became the emperor. People did not see this dude for years, that he was the Sith Lord that they were looking for. That's some serious veiling. All right. Me too, Chaotic Scott. That's why I got the flag back there. I have the books everywhere. I have more things of Sith coming in. I'm actually getting a Sith action figure. They have this action figure of Darth Sidious as the Emperor sitting on the throne with lightning coming out of his hands, but that's 400. I could drop 400 and double and triple and other things, which is what I'm doing now, so I could eventually get that. But I'm getting these action figures with Sith to put on my altar, because when we open up the Sith part of the temple, we going in, y'all. It's gonna be raw. It's gonna be some raw, dark energy. You can't be weak of heart. Trust me, you cannot be weak of heart when we open that up. All right, so let's see what else. So I feel your character. I do the same thing. Yes, smooth to God. I love that you said that, because when I first started sharing a lot of Luciferian information, and one of the first videos I ever did was about the 11 Luciferian points of power. Apotheosis or apotheosis is basically the God self, becoming the God self. To really utilize that principle, you should pick one Luciferian principle or point of power a day. And it doesn't just mean that you use it for one day. You could use one, let's say one of the last 11 Luciferian points of power. You could say, I'm going to use this one and work it for a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever you feel. You work on that one point of power for as long as it takes for you to manifest it and embody it in your life. Don't move on. Let me tell you what I've realized. This is one of the reasons that I was inspired to bring the order about. What happens to a lot of individuals is people learn and have so much knowledge and information, but they haven't mastered it. It's just that knowledge and information, a bunch of knowledge over and over. They can kick it, but they haven't mastered it. And one of the problems why is because people tend to jump from thing to thing. They'll work with set for 2-3 rituals, and then they move on to this or that. You may think that sounds like a wonderful thing, but actually that shows weakness. And let me explain why that shows weakness. You cannot get fruition. You cannot bring true fruition from working with one archetype for just 1 or 2 days or a week or whatever. To really get benefits, I suggest that you work with this current, the specific archetype or current you work with for at least 6 months or more to get some real results and benefit from it. If you keep jumping from thing to thing, you become a jack of all trades and a master of nothing. To master something is going to take you 6 months to a lot longer than that to really master the specific archetype or current you're trying to work with. I know so many people that 1 week they're working with this, and then next week they're telling me they're working with this. Next week they're working with that. Yeah, follow your spirit, but the discipline comes in when you can tell your spirit, shut the hell up and let me master this. And when I'm done mastering this thing that I'm working on now, then I'll jump to that. It ain't like if you're working with set and all of a sudden you get Kali comes through, that you should just stop working with set and say, I'm going to run to Kali and work with Kali to work with that because my subconscious bring me to that. You got to have discipline and say, Kali ain't going nowhere. Kali's still going to be there. Let me master this now, because you got to understand something. You have multiple voices speaking to you at any one time. You got to learn how to shut the other voices down and hear your true voice speaking to you. You have your DNA can call up to you. And within that DNA, you have different ethnic groups, races, whatever you may have, right? Speak up to you to try to distract you at times too, because they're trying to have you feed it energy as well. Spirits will do this. They're trying to get you to feed it energy. So they're going to say, nah, screw that set shit. Let's go run over here and work with Kali. Listen, tell your spirit, your multiple voices to shut up and listen to a true voice and master that one thing before you start playing hopscotch and jumping from one thing to the other, and you ain't mastered not one damn thing. Master one thing first before you move on. Your spirit will be fine. You'll feed that spirit later when it comes to it. Tell them to shut up. I run the show. This is my ship. I run the show here. And because I run the show, sit your merry ass butt down. And when I get to that, we're going to work it 100%. And I'm going to give my full time to working with Kali for months at a time to a year, whatever is going to happen. But until I get this done, I'm not jumping. Stop jumping around, people. It's a disservice more than a service to you. You got to master the current first, one current first, before you go on to something else. See, this is why the order was inspired within me to bring out for people, because discipline is one of the major things we lack on any path. I don't care if you're right-hand path, left-hand path, middle path that's unseen or whatever. If you don't have discipline, it's a disservice to you. Discipline is being able to stay on one track till you get the full results by mastering that one track you're on. You have time. You don't think you have time. You have plenty of time to master all these other currents. Take your time. I have a list of various classes that people want me to do, and I'm going to get there. But you know why I haven't gotten there yet? Because right now, for so many months, I've been working the Luciferian Sithic current. That's all I've been focusing on. So this is why when I do these live classes here on YouTube on Fridays, that's what my focus is. So I keep going into it, because I'm walking the path at the same time, going further into it, sharing with y'all, and also listening, and you guys sharing with me, so we can work and master these paths. I'm not going to jump around and say tomorrow I'm going to do tickle your balls with the left hand path, golden hand. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to say, let's roll with this for a little while. Once we digested enough of this, let's then get to some other another topic and hit the vampiric topic, or discuss psionics for 3 months. You got to understand, I'm not going to jump around. I'm going to stick to one thing, because I'm trying to lead by example. Master that one thing before you jump to the next. Then when you do that, you'll start to understand why I'm saying that. When you start reaping more benefits from it, you'll start to understand it. Too far often, people just jump. They're little bunny rabbits. They can't sit still long enough to master any one thing. Then they wonder why they got stuck somewhere, or have a problem with this ritual, or got stuck doing this. That's because you didn't master what you were supposed to over there. Anyways, that's a little tirade for now. All right, let's see where we at, son? Where we at, son? All right. Okay, here we go. Tanisha, yeah, I've heard about saying that to break the religious ties. That's basically called this construction and deconstruction. You deconstruct that which was constructed for you. Meaning, if you were raised as a Christian, you have a certain construct that was given to you about Christianity. So to deconstruct that, you take it and you use it for your way. I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. Church. I will go into a church right now. It sounds sacrilegious to some, but I will go in a I will go in a church right now, but I'm not going in there to hop, skip, stump, jump, praise God, Jesus, and I'm going in there, and while y'all dancing around, bouncing around, twerking in the church, foaming at the mouth, I'm devouring all that energy. I mean, that energy just bouncing through the church, the whole church rocking, everybody rocking in the church. You know, y'all been in that church rocking with it. I ain't rocking. Y'all can rock. I'm just eating. Feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. That's what I'm doing. Feed me. I'm just taking all that energy from there. That's called taking what you know, the construction of the constructs you were raised in religion, and then deconstructing it by using it in a different way. So that's basically why people sometimes use the Lord's Prayer and say it backwards. It's constructing it, the construct you had, and deconstructing it or using it in the opposite way to destroy that which you believed in or accepted to be true. All right. All right, Sean. So, for anybody who put their emails on there, I'm gonna put my email here towards the end so y'all can email me. And then from there, I can put you on the list. If y'all put your email here now, I'm not gonna remember to put it on the list. It's easier if y'all email me because it automatically saves to my email list, and I can send y'all some stuff from there. Oh yeah, I already did the EA account, brother. I play games, y'all. I'm a game. Well, I'm a part-time gamer. I'm not really a gamer, but one of my games is Halo. I don't care. Some people like it, some don't. I love it. I'm waiting for Halo, the new Halo, to come out. It's supposed to be next level. Unfortunately, I got to wait till the end of the year. Next, the God is, you can ask anything you want right now. This is question time. So you can ask anything you want. I got it. Chaotic Scott, got it. The novel of Darth Malgus. Got it. I already read that a couple times. Juicy Juice in there too. Darth Malgus was a little vicious sucker. You know what's interesting about that? And the Darth Malgus at the end. Well, damn, let me not kill it for people. But anyways, you understand how he did alchemy at the end of the book, how he had to destroy something to kill that very last aspect of himself that kept him mortal or weak. Yeah, so you do understand because I'm reading it now. Yeah, you on it, brother. Relic Serious with the owl uh hit emoji. I like it. Yeah, Darth Plagueis, that's the book too. I actually haven't gotten to read it yet. I'm finishing up these other books so I could get there. Yeah, Darth Plagueis is the Plagueis, however you want to pronounce it. He's next level. Right? Y'all all linked together and y'all don't even realize this stuff. So Cat Sky is the first one that says, I read Darth Plagueis 3 times already. Then Stray Panther out the blue says, what about Darth Plagueis? And then Zeta right after that follows up with, have you heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise in my Palpatine voice? Y'all connected, y'all. But yeah, that's true. I remember that's one of my favorite parts of Revenge of the Sith when he says, have you heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise? That is one of my favorite parts there. That's some serious jewels he dropped there. All right. That is good. $1 billion night, Ravana. I wish it was $1 billion night. If I was making $1 billion right now, I have to be paid. Yeah. Anyways. All right. All right, let's see what message I would. Where's to? I would love to communicate with you by. Um. All right, y'all. So some of y'all people are showing their emails addresses for y'all to stay in touch. Do yourselves a favor, and if people are putting their email addresses there for y'all to stay in touch with them, like the other people in the chat room, stay in touch with y'all, because y'all do know there's not a lot of people on this path. So stay connected. Okay. Stay in touch to build that community. There you go, brother. Use that lesser magic on these females and get your balls tickled. That don't wait till the end of the night. Get your balls tickled, brother. We get it tickled while you at the bar, brother. Get it tickled while you're at the bar, brother. Let's go do that. All right. That's right, Darkness Babe. I believe Bruce Lee said that. A master of 1,000 moves or master one move with 1,000 reps. I'd rather be the one to master one move than somebody who has 1,000 moves. Because if I mastered that one move, for example, the 1-inch punch, y'all know, for y'all who study martial arts and were Bruce Lee fans, understand the 1-inch punch is one of the most deadliest punches ever in existence. The 1-inch punch, if you master that one punch, you could destroy the fool who has 1,000 moves, bouncing around, jumping around, doing all these moves. All you got to do is time it. When you get that one shot, that's it. All right, so Dark Occultist 99. Let me put it in here now. Dark Occultist 99 at Outlook.com. If you want to get on the email list for Zoom class, my brother, myself, and the brother Rogue Titan, we're going in on a deific mass on Sunday. Come in, y'all. Come in. The Zoom vibe is a lot different than here, and it's real dope. Because I can see y'all, you can see me, we can hear each other, you can actually ask live questions. You don't gotta type anything, it's live questions, all right? So Dark Cultist 99 at Outlook.com. Not necessarily out of the blue. It's not about coming to Orlando for being initiated, everything else. The intent would be, if we do initiations, to go to different areas and do these initiations. For example, let's say there's 10 of y'all that are in one city. So the intent would be to travel to that city, because it would make more sense to go to that city to take care of initiation if there's more people in that area. Not everybody to have to come down here. Speaking of that you said that, in May, towards the end of May, so it's like 2.5 months from now, the sister Trina is bringing her group over, the Oracle group, over here to Orlando for us to do a large ritual here in Orlando. So I'm putting this out there for anybody watching this video today. I forgot to say this Thursday, but I'm saying it today. And for anybody who's going to watch the recording, we're going to have a live ritual at the end of May. Email me and tell me if it's good with you. If that date and time is, not date. I haven't gotten the exact date, but it should be towards the end of May. If that time frame is good for you, maybe Memorial Day weekend, I would say. If Memorial Day weekend is good for you, email me, darkoccultist99@outlook.com. We're going to have a large group ritual here in Orlando. Okay? So we're trying to work on this with the sister Trina. She wanted me to ask the group and people who watch the videos if that's something that would be beneficial for y'all. So let me know. It's 2.5 months. Should give y'all time to get things ready. If y'all interested in doing a large group ritual here in Orlando, email me and let me know. All right. So there's several dark Sith lore books that I've shown before, but I'm gonna show more in upcoming classes. Don't worry about that. Darkness Bay, listen, you also can throw chi from your body, and I know you can do this because some of the things you described to me the other night, you can do this as well. So yeah, some of the monks know how to throw energy out from their center source. Where do you think they got the concept from in Dragon Ball Z? But that's another story. Almond Blackstone, what's good? Good to see you towards the end. You still made it, but the recording will be up as soon as we log out in a little bit. All right, so everybody's putting their emails, y'all. Hope y'all writing these things down, y'all. Right? Hope y'all writing these things down. This is what I plan to do. I'm happy you asked that, the Stubby show. Okay, because or Stubby or Stubby. I'll figure it out. But I was asked that on Thursday night as well. I'm going to create a book list. Okay. This is another thing, another reason. Email me. Everybody email me. I know y'all putting your emails there for all y'all to stay in touch, but I'm going to need y'all to email me because I can't write all this stuff down and talk at the same time. I'll get some of the emails, then forget, and then I got to log out, and then that's it. So I'm going to need y'all to email me, but everybody else that y'all put in your emails, all of y'all write it down. But email, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to put a book list together of some books that I recommend. Okay. I want y'all to do the same. I want y'all to have if you have your own personal book list, put them together. Send me the book list. Everybody send me the book list you have. I'm going to also compile my book list. And then what I'm going to do is take all the books that y'all have sent me plus with mine. And I'm going to keep the ones that, the ones that are the same. Okay. They'll be there. Fine. But the ones that have different books recommended, when we're going to create one huge book list, like a super duper huge book list. And then I'm going to email everybody back the book list, the final one. So email me your book list as soon as possible so I can create the master book list, meaning taking everybody's book list, compiling it into one big book list so we can send it out to everybody. Okay? So send it out. Send me your book list as soon as possible, and we're going to compile a master book list and then send it back out to everybody. So I'm going to need you all to email me this so I can add you to my email list. My email list right now probably has 200-something people. So email me so I can add y'all to those lists for any classes we have on Zoom, any other private classes. I do private classes as well, but that's harder to do because of my schedule and y'all schedule. But if y'all miss anything, sometimes I'll do private classes for people, but that's a little harder to make happen because of our schedules. But get this stuff out there, y'all. Okay? Stay connected, email each other, Oh, I actually did I think one of my earlier videos. I think I did a video on blood sorcery, but that's a good thing you bring that up because I know just what to drop on that. And in the near future, I will discuss blood sorcery. There's good information I have on that and have used it myself. So yeah, I'm gonna put that on my list of topics to discuss about blood sorcery. Happy you bring that up. And I know you probably they're gonna type in the blood sorcery Bible. And I bet you that's one of the books you're gonna bring up. I'm trying to read your mind, brother. Or sister or brother. I can't see. See, these damn icons are so damn small. Yep. Blood sorcery. Right. See, I can read your mind. I can read your mind. Anyways. So, all right, y'all. I'm gonna put my email up here one more time. Dark Occultist 99 at Outlook.com. Final announcement. Sunday will be on Zoom. The brother Rogue Titan and myself, Ravana Noon, will be on Zoom at 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to be on that live discussion, email me at darkoccultist99 at outlook.com. We will be discussing the deific mass, the power of the deific mass, how to use the deific mass, etc., etc. Mind you, on Zoom, if you're stage fright, if you don't want to be seen, then you might want to call in. I prefer that all of y'all log in using Zoom because we're able to interact, see each other, talk, and you can ask live questions. But if you're stage fright, just call in to protect your stage frightness. Okay? So Sunday at 7 p.m. at Zoom. The sister Cosmic Serpent was supposed to be there, but she had a personal matter to attend to, so she'll be there next time. Next Sunday will be the Triad of Darkness. Rogue Titan, myself, and the sister Cosmic Serpent. We will be on there next Sunday on Zoom at 7 p.m. Thursday, we're going to be discussing the vampiric current in preparation for the Temple of the Abyss opening. So if you would like an invite to the private class on the vampiric current, email me. That's Thursday. And then next Friday, we'll be going more into the alter ego, but we're going to discuss the symbolism of what the devil is according to Gnostic Luciferianism and according to others. Okay? So those are the final announcements. Peace is alive. There's only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. All right, y'all. Check y'all later.